and good evening, everyone, and welcome to another podcast by School of Entrepreneurship Development. I am Kazi Hafsa Jahan, your host for this wonderful evening. And the best part of today, we have Miss Valentina, the Vice President and co-founder of Impacto Centro Studio. So, how are you, ma'am?
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for this invitation. I'm really happy to be here with you. And of course, also to talk a lot about what is impact, what is my job, and also the type of experience that I have and some tips that are really, really important in our work life.
Could you please tell us something about the place you're working at this moment?
Yeah, of course. In this moment, I'm in a co-working space. The co-working space is named Impact Hub. In particular, in Impact Hub, we are with the Impact Research Center. We have our office. And also we work a lot with Impact Hub because it's also one of the partner of the Impact Network, because we also have a network that is composed by 20 organizations from whole Europe. And we're really happy because today we have a lot of meeting. We also have a lot of discussion with really interesting person that come from different organizations, but also from some university. And also it's a really nice day here. In this moment, I also in a space that I want to mention that is a regenerated space by the municipality of Torino, because in the past this space it's a workspace for I say the people that want to work on that, but today it's a new space also for the sociality part. So with the different type of office, with the different type also shop, and so a really nice space that is a requalified space in the city. And we are really happy also to be here.
Okay, ma'am. So, as you are at such an incredible position today, what skills did you develop during your university days? Because this is a very important question, as most of the students are joining today.
Yeah, I think that in university, of course, I attended the University of Torino. In particular, I attended the International Cooperation University for also the defense of human rights in particular. I think most important skills that I also implement in the university life, it's connected to the soft skills, because sometimes, of course, also when you speak about some project or also some activity or also some company, a lot of effort from the participant comes from other type of skills, but I think that the soft skills are the most important, because also when you also have relations with other people, or also when you speak, it's really important that it's not only a technical content, but it's also what you say and what you want to communicate to the others. So in my, I say, university life, what I understand is in which way communicate some projects that are also in the past project that I made about the conflict resolution, or project about human rights in general, and go on, but also in which way also have a really like a good relation and good atmosphere into the room, because it's really important. And another things that I also understand during my life in university, it's connected to all, I say, the type of discipline that are present on that. So the part that is connected to the human rights, again, to the conflict resolution, but also about history in general. So another things that also comes in the university life, it's connected to the type of methodology that I use for studies. So also to say a really good method, and use this type of method also in the working life, I say, because it's not really, I say, yes, it's different from the studying life, but also if you have like a good method, also it's more easy also when you also implement your skill, you know, new things. So I think that the most important, it's connected to the soft skills that are, I say, that the necessary in all the field of a human life. So for me are that.
Okay, so during our student life, especially our university life, there are some moments when we do have to take some decisions. So, is there any particular key moment and decision you took during your student life that helped you to shape your professional one?
Yeah, of course. In particular, what is really interesting for me and also helps me to understand better in the work life what I want to do. And today, of course, I'm here to discuss with you. It's the part that is more practical part in the university because I start, of course, with some of the disciplines that are more theoric, but in the practical moment that are more connected to the group research or also some moment on which I have to create something from myself and also with my colleague with different type of perception and point of view in particular. That moments are I say the best moments and also helps me a lot because also the development of some project that are project in the time about the international rights and also the project about the comparative political system helps me a lot to understand that in some way we need also to change the situation, the actual situation, but for change it, we need also to studying a lot and to understand in which way talk with the different type of stakeholders. Another things that also because with the impact we work a lot at international level, but with also particular focus at European level with some particular funds from the European Commission. So another things that helps me a lot during this year, it's also understanding which way all the different type of stakeholders in Europe, but also at international level, works together and what type of institution are present. Because today we have a lot of stakeholders, but sometimes also we don't know in which way they also cooperate each other, in which way we could communicate with them. So I think that the most important and also challenging time for me also for arriving to the work, I say space, it's the practical part of the university. So the space on which, of course, I also implement my skills with the theory part, but also implement my skills with the dialogue between my colleagues, but also with the teachers and also stakeholders in general, because this type of research are made also with some interview to the institution, some focus group that we made. So I think that is more connected to the practical part, and you need also to put a lot of effort on that. And also to valorize the different type of point of view and understanding which way you also could find like a solution for a presentation, but also for something more, and also put always it's like a suggestion, put always your point of view because it's really important. And also sometimes if you are like a person that is really shy, you will say, okay, but why? I also the others made a good job, but please don't hesitate because this is really important and you are also in a safe place, I said, because it's the part of university. Also on the work you need to do that because also it's really interesting also the point of view of a new, I say, the work person that work in a job in general and go on, but you need to say something about that and to have like a position or a point of view, or also made some question, I don't know. So but don't be like silent in front of that.
As you said that we should keep our point of view in front, but in some cases it is seen that if you put your point of view, then you are usually criticized in some cases. I mean, so what should be done in such situation?
Yeah, about the part that is connected to the criticize, I think that they are at the beginning the most difficult part. In particular, of course, when you start to have like a test at university or also like a feedback from the workspace from like another colleague or also superior, it's also something that also you say, oh my gosh, I made a mistake, or also I say another things and it will be crazy today and go on. But in the reality, I think that is the most added value in your work because, of course, see, if you made like a mistake, it's okay. You also could change it. You also could made another type of fix, take another type of decision, and go on. But if you have like a critic, and the critic, it's like an opinion that you give to this type of work, and you have a critic from a colleague that has another type of vision, it's okay. Why not? You also could make some question about your position, and after that, you also could stay on your opinion, or you could change. So I think that the critic are the most. Also, I remember one time during one test that I have in the university, I received a really critics really strong by the teacher that arrives to me and say, in a rude way, also feedback. Also, on that case, at the beginning, for me, it's something that is crazy. Oh my gosh, why I received this type of feedback? But at the end, after, of course, 2-3 days, I decided to take this type of feedback without the rude part that is not admissible, or in my opinion, of course. And I take the feedback, and also I improve what my skills, or also I implement my point of view about the situation. And after that, I gave again this type of exam, and the situation was good. So I think that the critics are really important, but also you need to take the part that is the other point of view, and take like the added value. And if there is not like an added value, you go on that.
Okay, so in our early stage of career, most of us do go through some challenges. So, while entering the grant ecosystem, what challenges did you suffer?
Yeah, the grant ecosystem, in my opinion, is amazing, because if you are like a person that is a really curious person and want to implement your skills in the grant area, you could find a lot and a lot of typology of grant, in particular grant at international, at European level, at national level, a lot of things to do. I think that the most challenging part in this world, but also it's the part that I love more, it's connected to the fact that today the situation is on one way, and the day after all the things could change. So you need again and again to update yourself. So it's not something that is really, I don't know, standardized. So one day I have to do seats call, and the day after other seats. So no, it's also something that could change. Also, the way in which you are also like a project designer. So you need to write a project. Today you write a project about a topic, the day after about another. So we also could think about digitalization. Last year and also last month, in the field of artificial intelligence, they found some solution. And today, it's also the situation change. So you need also to adapt to the situation, to the policy, to also the donors, because also if you work at a global level, you have also some donors. You need also to understand really well some rules that are present. If you work at European, it's also something different, because you would have different type of rules, different type of donors, different type of template from a project proposal point of view. So it's also something that is every day the situation change. So if you are like a curious person and want also to experiment, to change, to study a lot, it's the right, I say, the decision to also arrive in the grant area, and also understand that the grant area is really wide, so you could find a lot and a lot of things. But there are different type, I think, of entities that are present at different type of level that also could help you a lot. Also in your university life, if you want to have some, I don't know, case study or some research, I think that this type of entities could help you a lot and give to you some data, or also some interview, or also connection. And this could be amazing, because in this way, if you also contact them, and the Impacto is one of them, we are really happy to meet students, and also to speak with them, and also understand a different type of point of view from our side and also from the side.
Okay, so as far as my concern, you have worked across Erasmus, CIV, and Horizon. How these programs translate into real impact for communities?
Yeah, these programs are really big program, I say that. So when we talk about Horizon, we talk about a program on which we have different type of million and also different type of call topic and go on. Also about the others, so like Serve or also Erasmus Plus and go on. A lot of action. I think that the type of impact it's connected to the type of needs. So in particular, if we have a project, I'm a designer, so when I arrive to and I want to create like, I made one example, of course, because I really like to make example. If I want to create like a course in about artificial intelligence for students, the first thing that I need to make is to speak with the students because I need to understand their point of view. So the added value of this type of programs arrives when the projects are innovative, but also the innovation meet the needs of the participants. So if want to make like a project, I need also to understand the needs of the participants. I need to create an impact and also measure the impact, because it's not only to say, okay, I want to make something, but also in which way you made something, which way after 24 months or also 48 months in the case of Horizon, the majority, you create something, in which way you measure. And I think the most impactful thing of these type of programs, it's connected to one type of approach, that is the co-creation approach. If you want to have a project for students, you need to talk with students. If you want to have a project with teachers, you need to talk with the teachers. And it's also, I think, another type of impact of this type of program. It's of course connected to the research, to the educational part, to the work in general, work market. But the fact that you need to start, and it's also something that I want to say to the designer in general, to the needs. Also, when you have to have a project, and also the type of donors ask to themselves what type of needs I want to answer with this type of project, what type of results I want to create. So I think the most impactful things of this type of programs are connected to the results of the project. Results of the project that are quite usual in the majority of that, free. So there are a lot of opportunity, in particular for students, that are present, that are free, and also that are not like a course that you need to do with some money, but also you could attend in a free way from all parts of the world. And this is really important for me, and to say about that, and create a lot of impact. And but it's important also to say, okay, create, and also they also need to measure this type of impact, because sometimes also from a point of view of terminology, us as organization, we made some mistake. So this is really important for creating new type of results that are replicable, and also new type of opportunities, I said.
Yes, you're definitely right. Measurement is also equally important. So, can you share a project you worked on that created a meaningful and measurable social impact?
Yeah, of course. In the past, I also what we made with Impacto. I made to you one of that example. With Impacto, the idea that we have is to train the organization to access to European funds and also funds in general, but with a strategic point of view. The idea is that impact, and also when I manage one of these type of training that is a project in the effect, with one of that organization, the idea is that we started to make the training part together. So it's like a one-to-one training, so like tailor-made also training that is made with the organization, and is made for helping them to having money, but money for made activities with what type of participants? With the participants in this case that are family that has children with physical or mental disabilities. So we started together and we build like a strategy. We say in which way we want to work together, which type of project they want to apply, and go on. And after month and month, the most I think impactful things it's the fact that without me, that of course as partner, yes, I will participate, but without me as a supervisor, they decided to apply and to open to new project. And also they are also waiting for the results. But the things that it's amazing that potentially they also could implement their activities and having a lot of, I say, the other families and helping them with this type of activities, also for the children, for them. So, and they are today, I say they are independent. So they also could write alone at some really beautiful project idea and also guarantee the economical sustainability of this type of activity that is amazing because they also could say, okay, this year we will focus ourselves on this type of fund, the next year on another, but they also are really, they have the competencies for do it. And so I think that is the knowledge is, it's also the key for the independence in general, in all the part of the life, but in particular on that type of work for them. I think that it's something really important, and I'm really proud of this project because also helps the organization, but at the end, the final beneficiaries. So I'm really happy about that.
As you should be. Okay, so the next question is, what motivated you to co-found Impactor Center and what problems you were aiming to solve at that particular moment?
Yeah, about Impacto Center, the idea was born a lot, I say, the 2 years, 1 years ago, between some conversation, because what I also want to say that I work in different type of companies in my past. Of course, some companies in the profit part, other companies in the no-profit sector. And at the end of the day, I say, okay, I have some, during my work experience, I acquired some skills, some, of course, competencies, some contact. So I started to have this conversation with one of the other co-founder. And together we said, but we need to have like some one organization, and this organization could be like an organization on which we create like an added value, and it's an added value on which of course the money are important, but the values are more important than money. For us it's more important that we really like our job, that people also understand really well the funds, and not only to say, okay, I want to apply for a project. It's really important for us to have some trustable people on which we believe, because what I want to say that before organization, there are people and there are person on which you could talk. And this is another thing that for us it's really important. And so the idea when we start Impacto, it's to have like one organization that works with our rules. So not with other type of rules, other type of direction. We want to have like a mission on which we believe, and also a vision that we want to respect. So, and after that also we have another conversation and with the third co-founder, and we said, okay, it's time for creating Impacto, and we decided to create it. Of course, I think the most difficult part of Impacto come at the beginning part, because we have different type of idea of Impacto. One idea that is more connected to the network part, another idea that is more connected to the grant area. For the services area that is more connected to the training, at the beginning we have a lot of things that we want to do. And so the most difficult things is to connect ourselves to some pillars. So to say, okay, now it's the time to have a strategy. We need to keep attention that at the beginning we need to follow this type of activity, and this type of activity will guarantee to us some money, of course, because it's like it's a work. So it's also important to have an economical sustainability. After that, we have a moment that is our milestone moment, and we will change on that phase. So I think that the most difficult things is to planning together with our three different vision, but at the end, what we find that we have a common vision that is also to work in a space that is a generative space of idea, of project, of contact. So at the end, I think that at the beginning, it was challenging, of course, but after that also this type we start also to have to be a little bit some scary, but also a little bit some scary sometimes it's really helpful, because also it's like the feeling that it's the like the you feel that you are creating something that is different from the other things that you made all the day. So I think that is the more challenging things during this new life, I say, of co-founder. Yeah.
So, how does Impact to support organizations and professionals in accessing European EU funding and innovation opportunities?
Yeah, the idea of course, our what we made for approaching European project and also innovative project in general, it's to focalize ourselves. In total, we are three co-founder of Impact. So we split our work in different type of areas, but also we connect ourselves in the type of decision that we want to when we approach European funds. So every year, what we made a strategy is a strategy on which we take attention to the type of topic that we want to focalize as a research center, and after that, the type of funds that are available. After that, we said, okay, we also could design some project proposal, and we arrive. I am the head of the grant area, so I arrive with some proposal to my colleague, and also they have also other type of proposal. So we start to work together with a different type of vision. So my colleagues, Sylvia, made more the part that is connected. She has a lot of experience on the design of project proposal also, and on the management part, but also she arrived to me with some ideas that are connected to the training part, to the capacity building part, because she also managed the area that is more connected to the training. From the other part, also my colleague Alessandro, that works more in the area that is connected to the communication and also the financial area, helped me a lot with this type of vision to say, okay, but we also could have, like in this project, a campaign about that, and in which way we also could proceed for the realization on other way and go on. And the same thing for the budget part. So I think that also when we design a project, again, and we talk about innovation, the key for the innovation is also to meet the needs of the people that are like the beneficiary of this type of project, because there are also projects that are about research, that are about education. So we need also to keep attention on the need, on the context. So, and this is really important. So I think that we made together, it's also to analyze and also to open to the world, and also not only to have conversation ourselves, but also to have conversation between others, with the target group, with other organizations, for also understanding their point of view and what is available at the moment. So this is, in my opinion, yeah.
Okay, so what kind of impact or success stories does Impacto has so far?
Yeah, from at the moment, I think that the now we are like a new organization. So the next month we will make 1 year of age, but we made a lot of things. I say the one of that it's the network that we have. We are really proud of that. At the moment, as I mentioned before, we have a network that is composed by 20 organizations that are profit or non-profit organizations. So we have some university, we have some municipality, we have some big research center, but the idea of this type of network, it's the fact that before the organization there are person, and so person that are trustable person on which we work a lot of years from different years, and we are really happy to having this network that is composed by this organization, but also because we have the network, but also community. The community is composed by more than 15 organizations that come from whole Europe, and we are really happy because every time with this type of network, we are really aligned with the work that we made. Also, we made a different type of works because sometimes we have some partner that work with the creativity, another partner that work with more the research, another that work more with the teachers, children. So it's different sometimes. But the things that I like more about that, it's the fact that if you are like in a crazy situation and you need to have like a feedback from another point of view, there will be another person from the WhatsApp group, I said, or from the WhatsApp conversation that also could help you. And I'm really proud of that because it's the fact again, and I came again on that we before organization we have a person, and this is really important in the university life because we are the same person. I said so. If you Today we help others about a European call that is really difficult with some file cell that has some problems, some issue on that. But tomorrow, if you need also an organization that could also help you, the other person is available. So it's also that for me it's really important and amazing in the life with impact. The fact also not to find organizations that are also new from our network that want to say that come to me and say, okay, I want to be part of that network because I believe a lot on you, but I believe also a lot on the work that you made together with the others, and I want to say with the trustable person because I really believe on that. So I think that is the most impactful things that we made in only, said, 1 year. So is amazing, in my opinion.
Okay, that was absolutely amazing. So before we end our today's session, one last but most important question: what advice would you like to give to the students and young leaders, especially from countries like Bangladesh who want to enter in this space?
Yeah, what type of tips I could give to you? First of all, be really curious. So don't hesitate also to make a question, to also write on LinkedIn and asking to the person that you see the post about the grant office, what are you doing? We have like a virtual coffee or also a real coffee? It depends. So made the question because the questions are really important for also understanding better this type of work and the type of experience that you also could do. After that, don't be shy. Again, I want to stay and connect to the curiosity part. And the last tips that I also could give to them, it's to study a lot this type of grant because you have a lot of things to see, but focalize on one part. So you want to make international funds. Okay, I want to understand that. I talk with this company and I ask to them this type of question. Before going on the virtual cafe, I studied that. So that type of annex, that type of call and go on. Same thing at the European level. I want to work with Europe and want to make this type of things. Okay, amazing, made it. But I think that what is necessary for this work is that there are a lot of things. Starting to study one of the parts, so local, national, European, or the international funds, and after that create connection. Of course, if you have any question, doubts, or want to have like a virtual cafe, I'm most that happy to have it, and also the co-founder of Impacto. But also there are also other organizations that could be really happy of that type of question, and also to give to you this type of feedback. So studying a lot, but also don't be shy and have a lot of conversation, made some posts on LinkedIn, and work a lot also on the part that is connected to the soft skills, because they are necessary and essential in my opinion.
That was absolutely amazing and insightful. Thank you so much for your valuable time. We definitely appreciate it, and I believe that this was an amazing session for the students. So I hope you loved the session today, and I can't wait to be again here with someone new. So that is all for today. Stay tuned, stay connected, and a very good night to everyone.
Bye, thank you very much.